Afternoon to all. Today we are discussing about integration in mergers and acquisitions. First of all, in yesterday's topic, we have discussed about tax aspects in mergers and acquisitions. So, we'll start with the introduction part. The introduction: the acquirer should design and implement the changes necessary to integrate a new acquisition into the existing business. We know that mergers and acquisition is basically an external reconstruction. Here, we have to make some policy for, uh, you can say, after merger or post merger or post acquisition. So, that is called integration a new business. So, the integration plan should clearly define the organizational structure of newly merged entity, including appropriate functional responsibilities such as manufacturing, marketing, accounting, sales, etc. So, their proper authority and responsibility and their required human and capital resources. So, integration, we have to manage the post acquisition or post merger policies. So, we have to make basically when we are talking about a employee compensation plan to compensate or protect the target employees should be properly designed in advance even before the preparation of letter of intent, primarily because of the following reasons. uh, Number one is any stock options. Number two is employee compensation packets often priced in mergers and acquisition transaction. The acquirer typically consider any excess compensation in calculating the purchase price. Basically, there are three reasons why integration is needed. Uh, then we will move towards features. So there are features of integration. Merger integration is a long-term process. I have bold all the highlighted points are basically, you can say, the main points under the uh, line points. So merger integration is the long-term process with a number if planned activities such as downsizing, eliminating duplicate overheads, developing new cash management, treasury management systems, or and consolidated accounts. The second one is the human resource aspect. If post merger integration is very crucial to the success of combined entity. The integration plan should consider all important issues and processes of a combined entity, such as capital resources, organizational structure, and business processes such as sales, manufacturing, supply chain, etc. The integration plan should also have provision of an annual post merger audit for primary purpose of determine whether the merged entity has achieved its intended goals toward achievement of objectives of broadening product lines, increased market share, etc. Merger integration is thus, without a doubt, that ultimate change management challenge. So we'll start with the process how we can move towards a merger and acquisition integration. So there are basically three steps. Number one is startup phase. Number two is implement phase. Number three is business transformation phase. When we are talking about a startup phase, there is a startup phase which is initiated before closing. Closing means the point at which contract is concluded and res- corporate responsibility is transferred, and involves the planning of integration activities. So basically, here we are talking about some post merger or acquisition, or we can say there is a process of mergers and acquisition under which we are doing under a startup phase. We are doing about closing the deal, and we are talking about the planning of integration activities. Under the second plan, implementation plan, implementation phase, in which important integration topics such as integration of brands and products are addressed. Here we are talking about branding of products, and how we can proceed with the different type of products. These are to be addressed to the public. Next is business transformation phase, where the results are transferred to the line of organization. Means basically we are try to align the business in their policy results. So next is various aspects of mergers and acquisition. Basically there are three aspects: organizational, second is human, number three is cultural. So when we are talking about organizational aspect, there is a individual level. Under individual level we are talking about every individual which is impacted by mergers and acquisition. So here we are try to integrate those individuals which are impacted. Second is corporate level. Under a corporate level there are basically 4 points: integrative perspective, designed integration, differential leadership, expanded due diligent. So when we are coming to the first point, integrative perspective, mergers need to be viewed as a combination, the balance, interplay of organizational strategies and organizational architectures with guiding principles of change management. And the second point is designed integration, the degree, scope and intensity of integration should be driven by fundamental business case of for combination and should define the integration process, or we can say in other words, how to combine should be driven by why to combine. The next is differential leadership. Basically the differential leadership, it is a leadership which is crucial, you can say, and there are very different rules for different leaders. It is important to think through these various leadership roles and assign them early in the process rather than treating them as afterthought. The last one is expanded due diligence. Here we are assuming the validity of above three elements which are basically discussed: integrative perspective, designed integration, differential leadership, and there is a critical need of deliberately address the organizational issue well before the deal is done. So these are the basic four fundamentals which are discussed at corporate level. Then we will discuss about human aspect of mergers and acquisition. So here we are talking about board level changes. We know that after merger and acquisition there is a change in board, that is a board of directors. And the second one is who will do which senior job. Basically that was a difficult task because after merger or after acquisition, the CFOs, CEOs may be changed. So it is difficult to decide who can do a senior level job. So that should be integrated, that should be a part of policy. Headcount reduction. We know that when we are combining the business, there are some duplicacy in the, or we can say there is a duplicate work done by two parties. So we can reduce the head count, or we can reduce the employees as we are needing a less number of employees to do that work. So how we can do it, basically we are fixing a standard, then according to that standard, which is performing well, that should be a part of organization, otherwise that is eliminated from the organization or terminated from the organization. Next is aligning performance measurement and reward system. Again, that should be designed through standards. If we are fixing a benchmark for every employee, if he or she can achieve that benchmark, then we will give him a reward and we will measure performance according to the standards. Key people retention. Key people here basically called main employees which are doing well for the organization. So uh, we will try to retain those employees which are basically assets for the company. The next one is managing conflicting expectations. Here basically we are try to manage the conflicts because we know that after merger or after acquisition there may be a cross culture environment is there, so we have to manage the conflict expectations because there will be a confliction between the two cultures or two company cultures, so we have to manage that conflicts. The last one is cultural aspect of mergers and acquisition. As I have already told you, corporate culture of two companies may be changed, so we have to look after the cultural aspect of mergers and acquisition into the policy of mergers and acquisition, or that is a post mergers and acquisitions. So we have to look after all the 3 points: organizational aspect, human aspect, and cultural aspect of mergers and acquisition. Hope you will like this video. If you will like this video, you can comment on that video and you can subscribe my channel. Thank you so much.